this video, you're going to be taking a look at Darth Vader and Obi Wan Kenobi, based upon their final duel from the Obi Wan show. This is for the vintage collection. So this is a pack I've held off for a little while now. There wasn't a particular rush for me to get this. I knew I always wanted it in my collection, and I knew it was going to be a great set. But sometimes you just don't have that rush to be able to get it right now, or FOMO, I guess. But I'm glad I waited till now. It's a very nice set. I ended up paying the full $40 for it before it was over with, but this is one of those packs that hasn't seemed to have gone down in price at all, and since production numbers have been very unusual, I guess, for Hasbro, meaning they're cutting productions for some action figures and then others they haven't seemed to. I didn't want to take the risk with this one and be like, oh, you know, you waited too long and now you're going to pay like $100 for this pack. If prices were that much, I probably would not end up getting this, but $40, okay, I can live with that. So previously you probably saw my video of the Jedi Knight Revan in the HK-47, and I did the unboxing for that and talked a little bit about these two packs. So if you haven't seen that before now, I suggest you check that out. And I went into a little bit of detail as to what I like about these two packs and some of the unique details about them that often we don't see on just a standard one carded action figure. So here's the box here. It's like the card for Blitz fell over. In case you're wondering about this display setup I've had, this is why I'm using to take the photos for the redoing of the thumbnails. Something about the lighting, it just makes it look good. So we have the image of the two figures here, which look very nice. Obi-Wan and Vader there. Nice image of Vader. His mask cut up there. We have a nice image of Obi-Wan there. We have two figures featured here. And then we have them up here as well. So I did mention that the cards come inserted inside of a cardboard covering, and then they have a piece of paper in between to help protect the cards. Nice image of Vader there, although it doesn't really look like an image from the actual show. It almost looks like it's 3D rendered in some way. And what's this spot here on the side of his helmet? Is that a reflection or an error of some sorts? I'm not too sure. And we do have the unpunched cards here, which is nice. And this does have the older style card back. We have VC 291. And I have most of these reviewed on the channel now. I have all four of these now. Cad Bane is, Nine Numb is. Might get to Tusken Warrior at some point, and the only other one that's still kind of unknown at this point for me is the Tusken Boba Fett. I don't know if I'll get that at some point. We have an image of Obi-Wan there. That's a very nice card image. I did get to meet Ewan McGregor a couple months ago. Nice opportunity. VC 290. The same images. We'll start with the man himself, Darth Vader. Now they did a lot of nice detailing on that cut there on his helmet. You can tell it has the burn marks around it. There's that nice gash there. And you can see his head. Now I have seen some people be able to take this part of the helmet off. Up until now, it seems like mine's kind of stuck into place, and I don't really want to risk breaking it apart if it's not meant to. I don't know if it's something that some people have just been doing it on their own, is like a custom, or if that's something that's meant to happen. But there's really not a whole lot to see anyway. You can't see the full head of Darth Vader underneath. But quite frankly, once you see the full head, I think he looks better where you can just only see one side of it. and does have a little bit of that Hayden Christensen look to him. It's not totally lined up, as you can see. His eye is all the way down here, but then the lens on this side is all the way up here. As for the rest of his armor, it's just a straight repack almost of the Dark Times Darth Vader. There are some differences, mainly with the control box there. As you can see, it has those slash marks. But other than that, I think everything else is about the same. In his cape here, he does have some cuts and some shredded marks in it. As you can see, it's cut up at the bottom here. And it does have this big hole in the back of here. No lightsaber cut-ups on his back, though. Would have been a nice detail to add. And unfortunately, it seems like it's a standard thing now, where Darth Vader comes with an unignited hilt, and you can attach it to his belt. It's taken Hasbro a long time to make that a standard thing. Before this Vader, I think maybe the Death Star 2-1 has it as well, and the Dark Times Vader. The only time we got Vader with his lightsaber hilt you can attach to his belt was, I think, in 2004. So because this is a reuse of Darth Vader, if you've seen my review of the Dark Times Vader, you know exactly what the articulation is. It's the same exact thing here. I think he kind of has a ball joint at the head. And then, of course, he's hinged just about everywhere else. He does have the rocker angles. In terms of his weapons and accessories, he just has the ignited lightsaber blade and then the unignited hilt. That's about all he really needs anyway. It's probably about as close to the Force Unleashed battle damage Darth Vader we're going to get. Don't think Hasbro will be doing that in the TVC line, unfortunately. Certainly would be a welcome addition. Now we have Obi Wan here. He kind of looks like basically a Chuck Norris action figure. Has a very similar hairstyle and similar beard. Well, it is a very nice action figure. I was never really sold on this appearance for Obi Wan, and it wasn't as many action figures that have been produced for him in the vintage collection, and even the Black Series. I wasn't really keen on owning any of them. So this is the first one from the Obi Wan show that I've actually owned. And I have to say I'm much more impressed with it than I originally thought I was going to be. Happy to have this. And as far as all the 3 3/4 inch Obi-Wans we've gotten from the TV show so far, this is probably the best one, I think. The portrait is perfect. Can't get much better than that. Even though it looks kind of like Chuck Norris, it definitely has the Ewan McGregor look. For the rest of his robes here, very Jedi-like. Kind of reminds me of like Revenge of the Sith a little bit. Not sure why Obi-Wan's using a blaster though. I know in the show he uses one, but we know that Obi-Wan's not really a fan of blaster pistols, and then here he's using one. I'm not sure if he explains that in the show or not as to why he's using one. He does have the unignited hilt here attached to his belt. And very nice detailing in his hair there. And it looks like he's got those leggings on. In terms of his articulation, he does have the... It might be a barbell at the neck there. It almost looks like a ball joint. He does have the hinged shoulders, and elbows. Which the elbows go about just ever so slightly past 90 degrees, I think. He does have hinged wrist, I think. It's kind of hard to tell because of the sleeves, but I'm pretty sure they are. I think he has more of a swivel waist, actually, which is interesting. But he does have hinged hips, swivel thigh, and hinged knees and rocker ankles. And it almost looks more like a swivel waist, or it acts more like a swivel waist. In terms of weapons and accessories, he does have his lightsaber here. But you gotta be careful because mine actually was bent a little bit when I opened this. And I did manage to bend it back into place to be totally right side up. But that could snap off if you're not careful about it. The unignited hilt here. And of course the blaster pistol, which fits securely in his holster. It's a pretty basic design. It is a little tricky to get the stand here. One last look at Vader. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can show you with this Duel Zen set. So would I recommend it for your collection? I would, especially if you're a big fan of Darth Vader in any way. It's always nice to have a battle damaged Darth Vader. And the Obi-Wan's really good. Like I said, I'm much more impressed with it than I thought I was originally going to be. I'm glad they added it to the collection. Personally, I haven't seen the Obi Wan show beginning to end from what I have seen of it, I wasn't too impressed by it. I think there's a lot of dumb moments in it. I mean, there's some good scenes in it here and there. There's some good parts. I think what we see here in the show was probably a decent part. But overall, the show was mostly a disappointment, I think. Definitely a lot of missed potential, missed opportunities in it. But I'll save that discussion for another time. Still, regardless of how we might feel about the show, they're very nice action figures, and I'm glad to add them to the collection. And I would recommend them for yours. I would shop around for a deal, though. If you can find it for less than $40, I would say do so. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There'll always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate all your support. And check out some of the links in the description if you have not done so already. As always, thanks for watching.